Hey guys, welcome to day 21 of our 21-day meditation challenge. I am so excited to share with you today's practice, which is tapping. Tapping, we've done a little bit, but today we're going to actually work on a full round of tapping. So tapping is emotional freedom technique. It's also called EFT. And what this combines is Chinese acupressure points with psychology. So what we're going to work on are 9 major tapping points, and we're going to talk through a pressing issue, which in our case today is going to be the topic of anxiety. And while we tap on these specific energy centers, we're working to unlock those energy centers and send a calming message to your brain, so into the amygdala, and letting it know that it's okay to calm down and it's okay to relax. And what that will do is slow the rate of cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So by talking through a pressing issue, something that normally would make you very upset, you're going to tap on these specific energy centers, which helps you release control of that body response that we get that we really have no control over. And it helps you take the power back so that way you're not getting stuck in these anxious cycles. This is something for me that I have found, especially lately, has been life-saving to not just how I feel, but how I'm showing up in my everyday life, because I'm taking control of my anxiety by calming myself before it starts, so that way I can function how I need to and show up how I need to. So this is absolutely a wonderful practice. So a couple things to let you know about how in the world do you tap. So there's 9 points that we're going to focus on. One is one you already know, which is the karate chop point, which is the outside of the hand. When we tap on this one, when we're doing a sequence, we only tap on this when we set up our mission statement or, our problem statement, what we want to work on. Right? As we're tapping on this and we state what our issue is, and we always want to be completely honest, we want to follow it with an affirmation. So that's where the other piece of the psychology comes in. So it needs to be something that's believable for you, right? So for me, I typically will use the affirmation, I love and accept myself completely. So even though I'm feeling some kind of negative way, I love and accept myself completely. That for me has been my go-to for a long time. I don't typically change it, but you can. You have complete freedom to whatever it is that you say. So as we tap on these points, I'm going to talk through different stages of anxiety, different feelings that come up through anxiety, and you're going to repeat back what I say. And again, this is just as a guideline for you. If something else comes out of your mouth, that's okay, right? You don't have to say exactly what I'm saying. Again, think of this as a guideline for you, kind of like tapping 001, that it's giving you an idea how to do it. But just know, as long as you're being honest and you're tapping on these points, you're going to reap the benefits. So if what you say is different than what I'm saying, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. So the tapping points, the karate chop is your setup statement. Okay? And the other points are inside of your eyebrow, outside of the eye, bottom of the eyebrow, underneath your eye, underneath your nose, underneath your bottom lip, right in that little space above your chin, to the bottom of your clavicle bone, underneath your underarm, which for girls is really where like the bra line is, okay, and then the top of the head. So you'll see, and it doesn't matter whether you tap right hand or left hand, doesn't matter. But you'll see as I go through, I use one hand until I get to the underarm and I switch hands. Again, that's fine. You can, however you want to do this, you can use one hand, both hands. It doesn't matter. What matters is your intention behind what you're doing. The other thing that we want to do before we start a tapping session is we want to rate how we're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. So again, today our topic is anxiety. So I want you to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most anxiety ever, and 1 being like you're fine, you don't feel any anxiety, how do you feel? Right, so it's really important to be really honest. And when we're done with our tapping sequence, we're going to ask ourselves again, how do we feel? And we're going to rate it again. So the goal is to lower that number. So I'm going to take you through several rounds today as a guideline for you. you can do less, you can do more. If you finish today what we're practicing and you still feel anxious and you haven't lowered that number a lot, play it again, right? Keep going. Do it on your own, right? Again, our goal is to get us to a place where we feel calm and we feel centered and we feel balanced and we feel in control. So again, so those emotions are not holding us hostage. Our mind is not racing, that we're feeling calm. Right, so again, this is something that's different for everybody, and that's the great thing about it, is you just apply it how you need it. Okay, so we're going to sit nice and tall. Okay, take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. Nice big deep breath out your mouth. Good. One more time, nice big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. And again, you're just going to rate yourself. How do you feel at this exact moment? And then we're going to begin to tap on that karate chop point. Right, so I'm going to say statements and I'm just going to ask you to repeat them. And again, if something else comes out of your mouth, that's fine, but I'll pause in between everything that I say to give you time to say it. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it silently. That's totally fine. So even though I feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely. And we're going to the top of the eyebrow, inner eye. I feel so anxious. Outside of the eye. I feel so anxious. Bottom of the eye. This anxiety makes me feel so overwhelmed. And under the nose. This anxiety makes me feel so exhausted. Under the lip. My mind is racing. To the clavicle bone, and I feel so frustrated. Under the underarm, this anxiety makes me feel sick. Top of the head, and I feel so scared. The inner eye, I know that fear is the root cause of this. Outside of the eye, the more scared I get, the more I try to control. Under the eye, the more I try to control, the more anxious I get. And under the nose, and then I get stuck in a vicious cycle, and I can't make it better. Under the lip, and then I feel so stuck. To the clavicle bone, this anxiety makes me feel like I can't escape it. And the underarm, and the harder I try, the worse it seems to get. And top of the head, and when I feel anxious, I feel alone. And inside of the eyebrow, but I know I'm not alone. And outside of the eye, and I know that I can heal this. And under eye, and I know that I'm safe. And under the nose, and I know that I'm going to be okay. And under the lip, I can feel the anxiety dissolving. the clavicle bone. And I know that I'm going to be okay. And under the underarm, I can feel the anxiety releasing. Top of the head, and I choose to release it now. And inner eye, I know that I'm okay. Outside of the eye, I know I can let it go. And under eye, I know that I am safe. Under the nose, I know that I'm okay. And under the lip, I know I'm not alone. And clavicle bone, I know that I'm okay. And under the arm, I know that I'm not alone. And top of the head, and I know that I'm okay. And then we're going to begin to release the hands. Take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. Nice big deep breath out. One more time. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. And just begin to bring your breath back to normal. And then we want to rate ourselves again. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? Right? And if you're still really high, it's okay. Right? We only did a few rounds, so you might need more. Right? If you feel great, awesome. Right? But if you don't judge it. Again, I do different rounds depending on how I feel. And most important thing is to break the habit of self-judgment when you're having a bad moment, when you're having a bad day, right? It's okay. You have tools that you can learn how to help yourself. So I hope that this helps you. Thank you so much for joining me on these 21 days. I've so loved spending these 3 weeks with you and all of the conversations that it's opened up in the little community that we've built. And please know that this is not it for us. We'll continue to meditate together. I'm working on some really cool ideas that I hope to share with you soon. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tapping practice, and I will see you soon. Bye.